I'm Caleb.
And we're here to let you know that Baby Driver is No Perfect Movie, baby.
B-A-B-Y.
So Baby Driver centers around a young getaway driver who only goes by the name Baby, played by Ansel Elgort. And the movie centers around how he begins to start a connection with this one waitress named Deborah, played by Lily James, and how he wants to get out of his life of crime, especially after this one heist goes incredibly wrong and puts him and Deborah in huge risk. I think it's safe to say that Edgar Wright's direction in this movie is incredibly stylish and so entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, the action scenes are shot incredibly well.
Yeah, like there's that one scene where he's running and he jumps through a car.
Yeah, he jumps from one side of a van, to the
Yeah.
other.
And that reminded me of a scene in Spider-Man. I don't know if it's the first, second.
It's one of them.
It's one of the first. It's the first or second in the Tobey Maguire trilogy.
Yeah.
Where he's jumping through a train. Like,
yeah, that was the second one.
Yeah, I think so. With Doc Ock, yeah. So that was really cool.
Jumps like right through, and you see the beginning, middle, and end of him like doing all these really cool parkour stunts.
Yeah. And
the car chases, man, those were really good.
Yeah.
Like, there is one scene where he's, like, driving in this red car. He sees two other red cars that just happen to be side by side and pulls up on them just so no police cars or helicopters can catch up to them.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, in some moments of these sequences, they're really, like, fast cutting just to, like, get the rhythm of him every time he steers.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, one in an alleyway where he just, like, drifts. Wasn't that insane?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And I really like how their movement and everything coincides with the music that's playing as well. Like, it plays a part, right?
Yeah.
Like the setting down of a cup or something, mimics the beat, mimics...
It really does. And, like... Edgar Wright's done that in a lot of his movies before. Like, it's happened in Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. But this is a technique that you don't see in most Hollywood movies nowadays. Mm-hmm. You kind of see that more in trailers than you do in movies, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, like, with Suicide Squad, like, a lot of punches and kicks were set to the beat of Bohemian Rhapsody. And that's what made that trailer, for me anyway, so awesome.
But this played more of a part. I think this played more of a significant part.
Yeah,
definitely, right?
There
was a big what's the word here? But a lot of music, right? That's a significant. Yeah. Music is a significant part of the film. What with him constantly listening to it.
He's extremely passionate about really any genre of music.
What did they say his disease was, or illness?
He has tinnitus.
Tinnitus. Oh my god, tracheo.
Where
was I going?
Which involves like ringing in his ears, especially when he's stressed out during like major parts of the movie. And I just realized that doesn't play a huge part until like shit really hits the fan for him.
Yeah.
But like we can hear the tinnitus with him during the scene, even when there's other sounds in the background.
Yeah. So that's.
And I think
pretty cool.
I'm not sure about this, but I think as things get even shittier for him, the ringing actually rises.
Yeah.
Did that, or?
Well, yeah, it definitely, near the end? There was...
Yeah, because,
near the end, at least,
he was kind of ringing after the parkour chase. Mm-hmm. Which,
So near the end, they had that.
But yeah, the action scenes are shot very steadily. They go back and forth from like fast cutting just so each steer can have like its own weight to it.
Yeah.
And when it has to show off a stunt, it shows it like in a master shot from beginning to end. And it looks so cool. Yeah. And the soundtrack, it's really...
I love the soundtrack for this.
It has like a good amount of like more rare stuff from like the 70s and 80s to maybe more current stuff.
Mm-hmm. But was there music from this year that he was listening to? I don't think so.
Maybe not this year. Maybe like
earlier 2000s.
Like songs from like this century. Because like there are so many songs that like you've heard them before in other places, but you can't pinpoint the names of the songs. Because like that one piano track that he's like jibbling along to while they're talking about the heist, I've heard that once or twice in a couple other ones, and like he listens. One thing that's really cool is that sometimes when someone takes out his headphones, the music actually dumbs down.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool. It did add to the atmosphere.
Right.
And
you
like,
can still hear it.
While
it's off. Yeah.
And one thing I noticed is that even like a character's movements are like timed to sound effects. Like at one point, Kevin Spacey just goes, and then the elevator dings.
Yeah.
It's just, it is that meticulously detailed just to portray. Like,
I forgot about that part. It's subtle, but
it is.
It's appreciated.
And I've seen Edgar Wright do that in Hot Fuzz, where someone gives an evil smile and you hear a eh.
Subtlety is important, yeah.
It is.
It adds up and, makes the movie that much more enjoyable, for sure.
Absolutely.
Because they bother to put extra fun little things in, that just add to it.
Yeah, and because there's some longer takes, you have to, like, really time it.
Yeah.
Because, like,
for sure,
there's a long take in the beginning of the movie that probably required so much rehearsing.
Yeah.
Because it goes from, like, a couple streets to in a building.
Yeah.
And then right back to where he started. And, one thing I also loved is that the song lyrics just happened to be where he was going.
Yeah, they're convenient to, like, they're relevant to what's going on.
Yeah.
In his life and everything, and perfectly so.
Yeah, because, like, one lyric would be in graffiti.
Yeah, this isn't just, the director's iPod favorites. You know what I mean? They work for... It feels that way. It feels more natural.
It really does, yeah.
He didn't just handpick them as, I like them, No, I think it seems like he picked them because they work, and you can tell. And
but, like, they also had to work as songs in order to get there.
Yeah.
Because, like, I didn't even know that one song, Tequila, I didn't know that was the name of it.
You didn't know?
No, I didn't. I've always thought of it as like, that's the song from The Sandlot.
Yeah.
That's where I've heard it from, anyways. And, like, yeah, their gunshots are, like, timed to the beat of the music sometimes.
Yeah. Like, there was one scene where, they had that one, Buddy had, when he was shooting.
Yeah, that happened to him a lot.
Shoot him up, and they were timed to the beat, right? And he was... Yeah,
when things really got messy for him.
Was that part where he's in the car and you can see through his sunglasses, like, I don't know, like, there's like a figure through his sunglasses, or like a person, like, there's a technique they used, right, when he's in the car and in his sunglasses you see the silhouettes of characters, of people. And then that's how they sort of switch to the next scene, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's over. I thought that was a small thing. It's a small thing to pay attention to. It's a small thing to mention.
I do remember that,
I thought it was cool. And
it was really cool. It was a nice segue into it.
Nice segue into the next scene. So.
How do you feel about Ansel Elgort in this movie as Baby? Because, like, I heard you kind of mumble during some of his acting. I wasn't sure if that was...
Like, well...
I don't remember what, but you had some things to say when he was talking or something like that.
When he was talking, I never, like, whatever I was mumbling was never like, oh my god, like, this is awful.
Like, what were you
kidding me? It was more like, oh shit, oh snap, Okay. I'd like to be able to do the snapping. No, like, I don't have any qualms with his performance.
He does have a lot of...
Sorry to go off on a bit of a tangent.
No, that's fine.
But yeah, he was great. Like, I don't think he did anything that was off, or that, like, I wouldn't think, like, oh, that's not right. Like, this character, he's not... I think he did it well. He executed the character
He does have a decent amount of depth going for him, like, people that he works with and, like, people in his regular life. Because he has a couple people in his regular life. And one of those being his... Was it, like, a foster father?
They didn't go into that, really. Well, that was his, I guess, yeah, it was his foster
Yeah,
father.
it was.
But they never like elaborated on like, okay, how did this go about? Like, how did this come about? Which was fine. Which was, I think they're not any worse off, are we?
I feel like they just needed his interactions with him, because without giving anything away, his interactions were actually pretty memorable. They were distinct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's a relationship that, without giving anything away, I don't know really how to describe it or how like it happened.
How it came about. Well,
yeah,
well, that's
like,
the thing with like, I mean, look at Doc and Marty, right? Like, okay, he's a high school student who hangs out with an ex-scientist or whatever, you know, or a disgraced, you know.
Yeah, but like
that's sort of like.
I felt like but there was also like a little bit more. Baby obviously would have had to like learned a little bit more about things in life just to converse with him and like establish communication. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah. No. Right. Like what? Learning how to. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
I wasn't entirely sure about.
I could have been given a little more.
I wasn't. Sure. Yeah. I felt like Ansel Elgort and Lily James could have been given a little bit more too, because I thought she was going to be just like a complete damsel throughout the movie, but
they definitely could have.
But like, she wasn't really until the last 20 minutes, I would say.
Yeah, they didn't give her enough, I don't think.
Because like, I'm glad that she wasn't really that much of a damsel. She was just kind of his way into the real life, or just someone that he could connect with outside of work. Because like, she was kind of into music too.
The romance aspect of things, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
The romance aspect of things, it was a little weak.
Yeah.
It was a little weak.
It has its
Some
moments.
might say you didn't need it to be any more than what it is, but others might say, well, you could have improved on that, right? You definitely could have. I don't know. It was very brief.
It was because like I feel like he spent more time with the foster dad than he did with her.
It was like that new Rocky movie.
I haven't seen Creed.
The relationship, Creed, his relationship with the girl that, you know, he gets intimate with isn't like, you don't see much of her either, you know.
Okay.
And they're interesting characters. You find them interesting. You find her interesting, right? In Baby Driver, right?
Yeah.
But she's not given. You know, to some she's not given enough.
That's true.
To, you know, appreciate her as much as. I don't know.
I feel like the side villains were actually given a little bit more because.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey, he was great.
He was awesome.
Kevin Spacey is one of my favorite actors, and I love how just how slimy he is.
He was playing sort of his usual, like he's doing what Kevin Spacey does best, right?
Yeah.
He's calm. He's, you know.
He just like looks at everyone as if what he's saying is absolutely normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like,
which is why it's funny when it comes out of his mouth. It's like, wow, that like. You know, you love how normal it comes out, right? And it's like, it's so ridiculous, you know?
I almost felt the same way about Jamie Foxx, even though once or twice, here's the thing, Jamie Foxx is a little bit of a hit and miss, because he does have a couple of good jokes. He has this really good routine over, like, the masks that he wears during their robberies. But at the same time, he makes a lot of really dumb choices that don't really do anything other than further the plot.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, like, without giving anything away, he causes, like, a huge fuck-up for the entire crew. And, like, what was it about?
Oh, man. So he thought that the people that they went to do business with weren't who they were.
That's
like,
right.
Weren't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who they were said to have been. And so he just made the quick executive decision that caused the other members to be like, "What the fuck, dude?" Right?
Yeah.
What's you know, and I mean, he wasn't the favorite of the group, that's for sure. And so they just disliked him even more than that. I'm surprised that they didn't, try to shoot him down. Then I was actually.
Yeah, me neither. I felt like everyone would have been fine with that.
What happened in the movie, like, throughout the movie, though, I was surprised and excited with the fact that it wasn't all predictable.
That's true.
I found that to be, and you could say that, going in, oh, this is going to be another one of those, right?
I did say that.
But you know what, though? It had a dash of flavor to it. It had some.
It really did.
It brought some, some flavor to the table of interest, if you will. Like.
Yeah, because for one bit in the movie, you feel like he actually is going to get out of this life very easily.
Yeah, right.
Because you think at one point that he's all even, and then it turns out they need him again, and that while he technically doesn't have to, he really doesn't have much of a choice.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they spend as much time as they do with the romance, because there is that one moment where he does do legitimate business as an occupation.
Right.
And, that is one downside with the movie, is that because it tries to be a little unpredictable, it gets a little slow in the second act of the movie.
That's true.
Because, even though they are developing the characters, there isn't that much going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you can only see them cuddling up with each other for so many times.
Yeah.
And, as soon as... I don't really think I'm giving anything away here. She does find out what he does. And she doesn't seem as irritable as most people would be.
That's true. She didn't really seem as shocked or scared,
Well, she was shocked, but she didn't go up to him and say...
Well, it didn't take her long to be okay with everything.
That's totally true.
Wasn't it very quick?
Yeah, because he does...
I'm with you, all right.
Well, she says, I'm with you, and then something happens, and it's just she's obviously upset and scared, but, then he, slips her a note saying, meet me here, and she still does, and it's just are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah.
And, and it kind of shows in the ending, which I'm kind of surprised they didn't take the easy way out with the ending.
Mm-hmm.
Because, without spoiling anything, it's not they drive off into the sunset. There actually is a bit of a catch. And I liked that. Yeah. A friend of ours was kind of convinced that they still kind of went soft.
Well, this is I don't know. I mean, this is Hollywood, right? And I don't know. I mean, you have to have that a lot.
Yeah, but
they give it to us. They give it to us. They give us a happy, and they also give us... I don't know. I mean,
they make it come with a price.
Right. So...
Which, the fact that they did that at all is pretty surprising.
I don't know. Yeah. It's interesting that this movie took as long as it did to come out, and I wonder what it would have been had it come out years earlier.
Well, apparently Edgar Wright wanted to. He directed a music video back when he did that sort of thing, back when he did music videos before movies, there was a music video where, a guy was listening to the song while he was a getaway driver during a heist, and he's apparently been working on the script for so long, but then there were other projects. I think him working on Ant-Man kind of slowed him down for this. And then, because it didn't work out, he went right back to...
How long ago was this in the making? 5 years or what? How long has this been on the back burner?
I think it's...
I don't even know.
I think it's actually been longer than that.
I thought so, too.
Because I heard about this movie back when he actually was doing Ant-Man.
Right. So, yeah, maybe if he had started it years earlier, then we would have been given a darker ending. Who knows?
I don't know, because, even Shaun of the Dead, it ends in a happy ending, but it's still pretty dark. Because, the way they resolve the zombie thing, it's just sitting there, and I'm like, you people are sick.
Well, I feel how much, what's the death count?
In this movie?
For this one?
Oh, yeah. That is a good question, because it's actually bloodier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Because one of the robbers, he got fucked up.
Yeah, man.
Because, they foreshadow it, and I'm like, he is not going to do that.
And Baby was, so that Baby got a little darker. Got a little darker than I thought there for me.
That is one thing, though.
And he goes, what does he say? He goes, he said drive forward, you know? And I'm like, holy shit.
Oh, yeah, he did say that.
Like, you...
Yeah.
You didn't, like...
Yeah, you never would have expected that because, like, at one point he's dancing around so happily in the streets, he doesn't have a care in the world.
Right, right.
And then later on in the movie, he kind of gets a reality check that people die when you do this sort of thing.
There's a foreshadowing of him, you know, sort of not wanting to take anybody's crap anymore. There is that.
Oh yeah, all
takes
the time.
him a bit. Takes him a bit longer than I actually thought
I feel like that's what the sunglasses thing was, just to show that he didn't care. It's like as the movie goes on, he doesn't wear them that often.
Well, that's true, but maybe that was.
Maybe that was
near the end, and like,
yeah,
it didn't but it's probably more so that it didn't matter anymore to him, and he was like, you know what, they know me.
He has
my glasses.
He has other
they would know me if they were on, if they were off.
Yeah,
I got to get out of here, you know. Yeah, like it was a great film.
Absolutely, like it does lose a little bit of steam during the second act, and there were a couple performances that I wasn't fond of, like Eliza Gonzalez as Darling. I felt like she overplayed it a little bit. Because, like, when she smooches up to him...
Oh, man.
That was weird.
Yeah.
And, like, John Bernthald's not even in it that often. I thought he was going to be in it more. And, like, he's just in it for 2 scenes just to do what Jamie Foxx was going to do a moment later. Just be, like, a complete bully to Baby, even though everyone else... is totally fine with him, and yet they're still trying to...
That's true. He was gone. Eh? Like, but he probably... What did they do to him? I felt like they probably killed him or something.
They killed...
We're not told that, but...
Yeah, they kind of implied it because they did kill a crew member at one point because of how much they fucked up, but...
Right.
So yeah, you know what?
Then we think... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you know what? That could actually have been foreshadowing the fact that maybe they did get rid of Bernthal.
Yeah, so, I mean... When we were told that's what happened to the one guy, then we started to think, okay, that's probably what happened to the other, you know?
Yeah, and Spacey even says you don't work with the same crew twice, so...
Yeah. And that's not... And I was thinking, when he said that, I thought, oh, well, okay, that's just his preference. But then I was like, okay, well, there's more to that. There's more to that.
There really is.
Yeah, so
that
was chilling, but that's
you know,
great though. Kevin Spacey was great.
Yeah, he just like really, he has that really slimy sounding voice. There's one moment where there are a couple moments where he's like really sympathetic to Baby, where I felt it was a little bit tacked on. Because like near the end, where he does kind of help them.
Well, because all the way through, right? He sort of has this like, you're gonna do this.
Yeah,
and you're gonna do this for me. It's all what's in it for him more so. It's like you're doing it because I want you to. I need you to. You're gonna do it, and then all of a sudden he's like, sort of like a fatherly figure, like.
Which
maybe not fatherly figure.
He does kind of.
That's not a right.
He does kind of talk like a fatherly figure a couple
times. Doesn't he? Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if that was like him being sincere or him just trying to manipulate him.
Yeah. So.
I guess...
But then maybe that's the point. Maybe that's what you want. Maybe that's sort of a... I don't know. Maybe he's...
That could have been...
a jaded sort of asshole.
That could have been, because like the way it ended... The way his arc ended, it kind of felt that way.
And I mean, when exactly... They don't tell us when exactly... it would make more sense if it was more of a fatherly sort of deal, like a protector sort of
kind of like the way
if the younger Baby was right, the younger Baby, because they didn't tell us when it was that they first started working together. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
Because I mean,
all they say is that he was a kid.
Right. So if he was younger, then maybe it makes more sense then that way. Baby, it makes more sense. Oh God, got him, got him. Oh.
Going into this movie, I hear so many things about how, like, it's an original concept movie, and I was just sitting there thinking, come on, this is going to be Drive with some jokes.
Yeah.
And even though it can be as bloody and violent as Drive, and even though... And it also does the man with no name sort of thing, because he only goes by Baby and nothing else.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So there is that element to it.
Interesting, yeah.
And the fact that he does switch with different robbers. So, like, there are drive aspects to this movie. But it also does have Edgar Wright's really stylish direction, just how he synchronizes action to music and really times the sound effects.
Yeah, the soundtrack was great.
And the soundtrack is really good. Yeah. And it makes me forgive the fact that the second act, while still interesting, it could have been sped up a little bit. Even though, or just make the romance more interesting instead of them just staring at each other and trying out wines. I feel like that's the most that they do.
Yeah, we don't see...
Because, like, I feel like that time...
Not much depth into that relationship.
Yeah, I feel like more time could have been spent, like, getting to know each other more. Because, like, there are a couple times where they do tell each other things about themselves. And it is really touching, and they do have good chemistry, per se.
Right.
But I felt like they could have made it a little more involved. Because, like, the movie is about him getting away with her. You need to give her as much as you do him.
Yeah.
So there is that aspect to it. But overall, I had a really good time with Baby Driver. I wouldn't say it's one of Edgar Wright's best movies, but for one, he's only made like a handful. And they're all really fun movies to watch, and they're all very distinct from your average Hollywood feature. And for that reason, I'm going to give Baby Driver a 4 out of 5.
Well, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 as well, I think.
Okay, sounds cool.
All right, man.
Guys, thanks as always for watching, and thank you once again, Caleb, for helping me out on this one.
You're very welcome, man.
July is going to be a really interesting month for movies, so you may as well...
expensive one.
Yeah, it's also going to be very expensive. So you may see him in a couple more videos this month. I really hope so, anyways.
Hopefully.
Be sure to like, subscribe, check out my other reviews at NoPerfectMovie.com. Check him out on Facebook if you will. And once again, thank you all very much for watching. Take care.
See ya.